Well, if ever there were a week to do a Reddit review, I feel like it's gotta be this week. The Reddit boys, the kings over on Wall Street Bets, have created this whole phenomenon.
You could always try your hand at STONKS.
STONKS.
Follow me.
And I have been intrigued, fascinated, infuriated by the whole thing. I've got my 5 shares of AMC, and I'm either going to the moon or to the grave with my 5 shares. We will have to see.
Stonks only go up. They go up to the moon.
I've been loving following Dave Portnoy. He even posted an edit of Dierks Bentley's I Hold On today. I don't know if you guys saw that. But Reddit is certainly on the mind, and I actually have a subreddit that I started called Country Music Stuff, and it's always linked down below in the description of my videos. There's a bunch of stuff down there I don't always talk about. I have a Patreon if you want to check that out. I have a Spotify playlist with my favorite current music on it if you want to check that out. I don't like doing all the self-promo, but all that stuff is down there. So I figure, let's just do that. Let's go look at what's been popular over in country music stuff, and I'm always lurking over there, but see what have been the top posts of the month.
Come on. Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Okay, top post. Do you think his best song is Darth Y'all Isn't Real? He Can't Hurt You. Oh, Darth Y'all. I actually get sent this a lot. I get sent this, and then there's another one where it's like Darth Maul, but with 2 guitars, and they say like Darth Vader or Darth Brooks or something like that. I like that.
I like that.
And I like this meme. What are people saying? Darth Brooks' greatest hits include Rope in the Force, That's Summer on Tatooine, Lightsaber Rodeo, If Kenobi Never Comes. If Kenobi Never Comes, that's my favorite of these.
If tomorrow...
Oh, I posted this on my Insta story. Upload the video, Grady. Post the worst country music of 2020. The entire community. Yeah, that is how it felt. That's always how it feels. But I was actually glad people pushed me to do a worst video this year, because although I don't want to be a force for negativity, especially in a year when a lot of people couldn't tour, at the same time, I think there is something kind about just saying, here's how I see the world, and here's what I don't think is the best music. It's not that serious, and it allows, people that are watching to say, I'm like not the only person that feels this way. So I was glad people pushed me. I've been getting a little too cozy, friendly with like the establishment. And if ever there were a week to not feel so much like you want to be part of the establishment, it's this one.
We own them. They don't own us.
This is a pic from the inauguration. True to his roots, Garth Brooks showed up in boots to a black tie affair. I don't know if y'all read any of Garth's interviews around the inauguration, but it was so weird. He kept saying, like, I've played for every president.
With the exception of Ronald Reagan, Brooks has performed in some capacity for every U.S. president since Jimmy Carter.
And I was like, but you specifically didn't play at Trump's inauguration. And he kept saying, he's like, I played for everyone but Reagan. And I was like, but you didn't. You didn't. So don't lie in the press, sir. All right, this one just says, Kane Brown is the Axe body spray of country music. Let me run that through like my 6th grade memory filter, because I, like every good 6th grader, covered myself in, what was my scent? Kilo. I loved Kilo Axe body spray. I went to this public school. You had to wear this gym uniform. I remember I only washed it like one time in all of 6th grade, so it smelled it reeked of BO. But also Kilo Axe body spray. And then in high school, I went to a boarding school, and axe bombing people was totally a thing. You would take duct tape, pull it over the top of the axe, and put something in there to kind of push down on the button, and you roll it in someone's room like a grenade and just pull the door shut and lock it, and it's so overpowering that you would kill them. So is Kane Brown the Axe body spray of country? I mean, I guess in that I imagine his music is consumed mostly by younger people, and maybe the type that like wearing Axe body spray. Is it overpowering? I don't think his music's overpowering. I think it just kind of like blends into the pop landscape. Will it be a thing that people kind of look at and we're like, that was a strange phase I was in? Maybe. But Kane Brown confusingly started singing all those like Randy Travis covers and stuff on Facebook, so maybe he will age into a real classic country career, but the kind of way things are going right now, I feel like we might view it as an Axe body spray phase. We will see. Wow, how did you get like that? Every time I hear a snap track on the radio, I do one push-up. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it can feel that way. It's like one of those things, once you hear it, I remember before I made that video, I just started to notice, geez, I don't know what that sound is called. It wasn't called a snap track then, it was just whatever that sound was. I heard it, and once I named that, oof, it ruined my life. It was like in 7th grade when mom said, you say like a lot. That happens when editing videos too. You start to notice you have weird speech tics. Pretty much every time I'm done with a take, I do this. I'll say a sentence and say, yeah, and that's the whole sentence I had to say. I do that. I just grab, like I exhale while pinching my nose. It doesn't mean anything. There's no itch. There's no reason that needs to happen. Oh, we got Flex Tape Man, Morgan Wallen, Wasted on You being a good song, trap beat. Dude, that's kind of how I felt too, especially the Dangerous sessions. Oh, they're so freaking good, and it kind of made me wish that some of the songs were a little more stripped back.
I don't always wake up in the morning, pour myself a strong one.
But I will say this, for Dangerous, I was tough on it, ish. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was a positive review, and for some people, they're like, how could you give it a 6? And I'm like, I gave If I Know Me a 4, so it's a pretty huge improvement from his first record. But I listened to Dangerous with some of my friends the other day. I was over at their house doing a puzzle. And in a group setting, all the songs that aren't my favorite were the ones that people kind of enjoyed and were like, I like this album. And it just reminded me that music has so many different purposes. A lot of people, music is supposed to be social and enjoyed with other people, and it really showed me the strengths of that side of Dangerous in a way I hadn't seen. In general, I think Dangerous is aging pretty well with me, and songs like Need a Boat that I kind of overlooked in my review have started to kind of come out of the woodwork and stand out.
I need a boat. I need a boat.
I still think it's too long and it kind of covers the same beats a few too many times, but it's such a solid project. But yeah, I prefer the Dangerous Sessions version of Wasted on You over the album version. Let's see what y'all say. Oh, check out the version called Dangerous Sessions. He has to / needs to have the album appeal to all his fans. Pop beats appealed to the pop country fans that he has plenty of. Oh, here's some more Wasted on You, Hayden. We got Drake saying, no to Wasted on You, and to Silverado for Sale. Silverado for Sale is such a crowd favorite. Oh, although I agree with the top comment right here. Y'all sleeping on 865. Totally agree.
But this bottle tastes like 865 for
I read somewhere that it was originally a different area code and Morgan changed it to 865 because that's Knoxville. And I also think he definitely did that on Sand in My Boots. That line, something about the way she kissed me, tells me she'd love Eastern Tennessee. It had to be Mississippi, right? I mean, it was a hearty lyric. Something about the way she kissed me tells me she loved Mississippi. It had to be that, I think. I also saw on Twitter or something that Luke Bryan really wanted that song and Hardy protected it from Morgan. And that will prove to be a very good decision. I mean, everyone on TikTok can tell you that's the classic from this record.
I'm killing and I be that way.
We got the Bernie meme. We got Inauguration Bernie. Excuse me, I think you got my chair. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you love kind of to go to a George Strait concert and just see disgruntled Bernie sitting there that whole time? Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend, George? Do you... I sound like the Godfather. There's an oceanfront property, but the bigwigs, the 1%, are trying to claim ownership of your property. This has been Grady. I'm aborting this mission. This has been Grady attempting to burnify George Strait songs. The Chattahoochee board. A lot about living, a little about lunch. Wow, they wrote a whole song. I went yonder to the Chattahoochee board. Never knew how much that cold salami meant to me. Oh my gosh, this goes on and on and on. Oh, you nerds, you nerds. Today I learned Merle Haggard owned a dozen Wendy's franchises. He was partners with a former wrestler named Bobby Davis and was a friend of Wendy's founder Dave Thomas. That's good to hear, you know? People always give me a hard time that I don't talk about Merle enough, and honestly this gets me one step closer because if I'm driving, Wendy's is probably second to Chick-fil-A in terms of where I want to stop. I want to go to Wendy's, I want to do their 4 for $4 deal, I want to get a junior bacon cheeseburger, otherwise known as a JBC Nasty, and then you get 4 nuggets, a small fry, and a drink for $4. It's a great deal.
When my belly starts a-rumbling and I'm jonesing for a treat, I close my eyes for a big surprise, the tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch. I love to tender crisp bacon.
Okay, Disney Pixar's Nashville. This one cracked me up. So, Grace is Raffle made so many of these Nashville stars as Pixar characters using this app called Tune Me, and these cracked me up. I actually posted this on Instagram, and the main reactions to when I posted this on Instagram were mainly, damn, poor Hardy, and I'll scroll to him. Hardy looks like a little Italian street performer that's just like, please, give me like a meatball. I guess or money. I don't know. Would an Italian street performer want a meatball? I'm really into the idea of people getting paid in meatballs from having watched The Wedding Singer.
Oh, cool. Thanks a lot.
Otherwise, I get big lead character energy from Kelsey Ballerini, as well as Tyler Childers. I could see like the two of them being the romantic leads of the movie. Miranda looks kind of crazy. Eric Church kind of looks like a villain to me. I think Eric Church is the villain in our movie. Someone made one of me. I just wish I were a little hotter. I'm like, oh man, I look just kind of, I don't know. I don't know who I'd be in the movie. I feel like I'm like a baker. And in some kind of chase scene where Kelsey and Tyler are running past, I'd like drop my bread. I don't have lead character energy.
Yeah, I'm no hero.
Sure you are.
Okay, this one is amazing. This is a guy named David. He actually messaged me this on Instagram, and he has built an entire website. It was based kind of around the idea of my lyric video, where I looked at what was the most common word in country music. The conclusion that we came to was the word yeah.
Send me a little yeah.
But David took everything a step further and looked at a database of 14,500 songs to see what he viewed as stereotypical versus not stereotypical. One of my favorite metrics in it was one that he called uniqueness, and that is using uncommon words or words that you're not repeating over and over again, and he had a metric for finding that out. He made a little partial list here. We can see Coulter Wall, the Panhandlers, Sleep at the Wheel, Tyler Childers. In the mainstream, Eric Church and the Hot Country Knights had some variety in their lyrics that he found, but it's just a partial list of some of the people. Look at that, Blanco Brown. Blanco Brown's also there, and not a fan of the sound of his, I think I only listened to his EP. Does he have a full album out? But I guess maybe I should listen with an ear for more unique words.
Now take your left hand and put it on your side.
He also looked at words, and I think we calculated this a little differently. So certain words on his list, like his top two, just and no, weren't on my list, but then there's a bunch like love and yeah and time that are common between ours. I could probably spend like 45 minutes going through all of his, but I'm just gonna say another thing in the description down below is a link over to his website. So cool, like such a huge amount of work, and I freaking love it. Oh, hello. It is future editor Grady here, / post all-nighter editor Grady here, because I was writing a column that will be in a magazine in like a month and a half, going back to my roots a little bit, like good old Garth. But no, I just filmed way too much, so I'm cutting the video off here. But while I was writing and then editing this video overnight, Luke Combs dropped this new collaboration track with Billy Strings, and it's cool. It's called The Great Divide, and it's got Luke singing in a way more subdued style.
But I've seen strangers love each other.
And I think it's interesting. It's kind of about this cultural moment that we're in as a country where we're so divided. But I think it's interesting kind of looking at how he released 6 Feet Apart. And at the beginning of quarantine, we were feeling hopeful. And now there's this much grimmer song still about distance called The Great Divide. And so I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of a statement a little bit. Like this physical distance has created this political, ideological, emotional distance. And you get a lot of picking on it, some beautiful harmony from Billy. I'm pumped that Billy Strings has a mainstream showcase on a Luke Combs track. That's just awesome. So I think it's cool. I'm ready for like the weird phase of Luke Combs, and I feel like we get that a little bit. So love that. Anyway, I'm cutting the video off here. Part 2 of this video, where it will be back to past Grady, will be up tomorrow.
We like to start